And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Arnold Holiday News, the only news you ever need because you have no other choice. Speaking of choices, I can't believe this is finally happening, people. Galaxy of Heroes, welcome to the 21st century of mobile gaming. This is a big deal that we have going on today, my friends. It's a big deal for us, and it's also a big deal for Capital Games, which is the real reason why they're doing this. But we are finally getting an official PC client for Star Wars Galaxy. And you know what? I'm starting to smell something. This is kind of reminiscent to the other day. Someone was asking me in chat, oh, what do you think about a Naboo raid? They're like, oh, you know, I gotta wait and see how it's like. And then literally like the next day or so, a Naboo raid was confirmed. And just the other day, in my last stream on Monday, someone was asking me, what do you think about a PC client? Will Capital Games ever do it? This was just on Monday. And I thought they weren't going to do it because we've been asking forever. And I hate to say it, when it comes to Capital Games, I kind of get a vibe of a little bit of laziness sometimes. But it makes so much financial sense for them to do it. I'm surprised they haven't done it. And they finally are doing it, my friends. And I love this comment right here. If you play this game, you aren't real. Sorry if this applies to whoever who reads it. So we're not real people. It's all figment of our imagination that we're here together. Anyways, typical Capital Games fashion, the first people to break the news on something big like this sometimes, it's not the official forums. It's from Game Informer here, so a third-party resource. However, it does link to a legitimate page for Capital Games. I'm going to leave a link down below. You have to pre-register. It's going in open beta. And again, we're going to talk about why this is a big deal in several regards, but let's just read what this has to say. So this article is from Kyle Hilliard. Star Wars Galaxy is coming to PC with a better frame rate and higher resolution. And right there is one of the few benefits that we're getting. Number one, man, I miss the days when like the blue stacks were able to kind of like somehow get wonky and have like unlimited frame rates, and the game looked so good. This game could look good if they would just let us have that accessibility. And even when way back in the day, when I had access to test accounts, the game looked so much better with higher frame rates, higher resolution. So just from us as an enjoyer of this game, yes, it's not the coolest looking game on the block, but it would be nice as having basic things like a higher resolution, higher FPS. This game looks so much better. So that right there is a big deal. And we're going to talk about some other things in a moment, but let's read the rest of this article. We only got through the title so far. Star Wars Galaxy is the popular free-to-play Star Wars collectible turn-based strategy RPG mobile game. Is that all the titles? Did we lock in all the descripting factors? It's coming to PC with cross-save functionality and improved performance. Speaking of developer over email, the team says, we have been able to double the frame rate to 60 FPS and adding anti-aliasing and implemented higher resolution settings so that the players can take advantage of the power of a high-end PC. The game's layout has also been adjusted for the PC version. Just blows my mind it took them this long, but let's keep reading along here. Star Wars Galaxy was originally launched for mobile devices back in 2015 and has amassed a following over the years. In the time, players have figured out ways to emulate the game on PC through BlueStacks. However, there are a few issues with that, as I guess I'll bring up in a moment. In that time, players have figured out ways to emulate the game on PC, but this will be an official release straight from Capital Games. Along with improved visuals, the game will also support mouse and keyboard, as well as key bindings. There's no controller support at the time. Longtime players will be able to bring all their progress over by linking their mobile accounts, so nothing too new here. Of course, kind of usual thing. You can transfer from iOS to Android. Makes sense to go from Android, iOS to PC as well. And the team says the PC mobile version will always be on lockstep and release updates at the same time. So it's not like some platforms get an update before the others. They're always going to happen simultaneously. Beta access for the PC version will be available for current mobile players in May, before expanding to a larger audience. From the developer, for those interested, they can head to Star Wars Galaxy's website, sign up for the EA app. And this is what I've been saying. Like, if they already have the EA app. It used to be called Origin, now it's the EA app. It just didn't make sense why we never had a PC version. It's not that much more complicated than what it already is. Link their account and they are now ready to register. There is a dedicated registration page that I will also link down below for you guys. So number one, obviously the biggest benefit for us, higher frame rate, higher resolution. It's gonna look so much better. Again, it's not gonna look like a AAA game or some of the more recent mobile game editions that look really darn good, but it's gonna look way better than it currently has when it's locked at 30 FPS, has lower resolution files. Again, if there are higher end mobile devices or even PC devices, you have that opportunity to make the game a little bit better. I've seen it. The game could look a little bit better just with simple things like a frame rate, high resolution. Also, third-party tools like BlueStacks, Nox, and all those other things out there, Mamu, one of the biggest problems is, you know, there's questions in regards to its security. You know, is your data really secure? All that other type of stuff. But hey, nowadays, is anything really that secure and private anymore? I suppose. But also on top of it, with an official release, hopefully it minimizes crashes. So sometimes we use BlueStacks, Nox, and whatnot. There are crashes sometimes. You know, I'd say most times it's because of the emulator, not because of the game. Sometimes it is the game, but crashes should hopefully be reduced, especially in a high-stakes territory war, grand arena type of scenario. But there is one big upside to this, and the reason why CG should have done this eons ago. This saves Capital Games tons of money. Now, we've already seen Capital Games make strides in trying to save more money, make more money with things like the web store. And the reason why we're seeing stuff like this is because when you imagine a game like this, where they have to pay licensing fees, and then they gotta pay, you know, EA gets their cut, and then the employees get their cut, all the other myriad of expenses that happen, one of the biggest things that happens, Apple, Google, they take 30% of the purchase straight from the top just for the game existing on their store. So we're seeing this movement with a lot of newer mobile games. They'll have a mobile version and then they'll have a PC version to try to save that money. And it makes sense. I don't fault Capital Games for wanting to bypass that, as well as many other developers out there. So that alone, that's millions and millions of dollars they could have been saving over the years. And that's why I was just surprised. I'm like, what are you guys doing? It's finally happening. So it's gonna mainly benefit them, which is why they're really doing this, but it's something that's gonna benefit us in return. So if you want to pre-register, I'm gonna leave a link down below to this right here. It is legitimate, straight from the EA website, and you can pre-register right here. The galaxy is getting bigger with our expansion to PC. Soon you'll be able to experience the game you know and love on a bigger screen. Register today for your opportunity to participate in the closed beta taking place on the EA app. So when you click on that, leads you over here, so you'll type in your email address and type in your player ID. And to find your player ID, when you're in the game, you click on the little cog wheel, the settings wheel up in the top left-hand corner when you're in the cantina. And at the bottom, you'll have your player ID that you would type in. So it's sort of similar to how you would connect to the Galaxy Heroes web store, but you don't have to do the whole connect, EA Connect. They just want to see your email and then your player ID. Maybe down the road, once it's officially launched, you know, not in closed beta, then they'll probably use EA Connect so you can connect your game to this here. So people, for me, I'm extremely excited to see this. I just, you know, I play this game because it's Star Wars. I'm sure that's how a lot of us are. We have a good time. We have a great Star Wars community involved in this game, but it's like, man, come on, it's 2024. Can we make the game look a little bit nicer, higher frame rates, higher resolution, hopefully less crashes. It's gonna go a long way, in my opinion. I will say this though, I have seen Galaxy Heroes in unlimited frames. I know they have the technology. I think it'd be nice if they let the PC players have that opportunity to kind of, you know, adjust the frame rates a little bit beyond, but I'll take 60. 60 frames per second is a much bigger deal from 30, but you know what's better than 60? 120 frames per second. So that's all for today, people. Extremely excited about this here. Hopefully you guys are too. It's been a feature we've been asking for years, and it's finally happening, ladies and gentlemen, Gungas and Droids. So let me know your thoughts down below. Hopefully this is a big deal for you as well. And I know Capital Games, you're going to be enjoying that 30% extra revenue that you're going to be saving just by having your own app. It's about time. Anyways, like, comment, down, subscribe. Always remember, it's great to be in the Empire today.
It's great to be in the Empire today. The sun never sets.